Hi, this is Grace Shaw, and you're listening to the Grace Shaw channel. So today, let's look at cross-price elasticity of demand. So what is that? It's an economic concept that measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded of one good when the price of another good changes. In economics, this cross-elasticity of demand refers to how sensitive the demand for a product changes in a price of another product. This cross-elasticity of demand evaluates the relationship between two products when the price of one of them changes. So only the price of one is going to change. And how does that affect demand? So let's take a look. Cross-price elasticity can be calculated by the percent change in the quantity demanded of good A divided by the percent change in the price of good B. So if that relationship gives you a positive number, then we classify that good as a substitute. If it's negative, it's a complement. If it's zero, it's an independent good. Substitute goods are always positive because when the demand for one increases, when the price of a substitute good increases. So this would show a shift in the entire demand curve as the price of other goods change. So let's work through a problem about pancakes and syrup. So what technical name would you give to the relationship between syrups and pancakes? Well, it's a complement good because we can just see that because both of these goods are usually consumed together but not separately. So that is going to be a complement good. So first, let's just suppose the price of pancakes goes up. Let's take a look at what happens to the demand curve for pancakes if the price goes up. So take a moment and see if you can figure this out. Okay, so you should have been able to possibly figure out by putting at least the first point down on the curve. And the first point here would be point A. And then we know pancakes went up. The price of pancakes goes up. So the price went up. So we're just going to start here. And since we know that is a complement good, we are then going to take and go over so far, and we're going to code down, but making sure our other point is less than the quantity of point A. So that would give us a new price point, or new line on our demand. So as you can see by this, our quantity of pancakes decreased as our price of pancakes increased. So this would be a good graphical illustration for that effect there. So let's take a look at another scenario. Let's suppose that the price goes up. So let's graph what would happen to syrup. So we know that they are complementary goods. So we know that if the price of pancakes goes up, the quantity demanded of pancakes decreases, as well as we've seen in the previous graph. So this would be the same with syrup. So there would be a whole shift in the line for the quantity of syrup demanded. So the whole line would shift downward. So what does this say about the cross price elasticity of syrup, and pancakes. So we would consider the cross price elasticity to be negative because the goods are complements. As our first part in this problem, we discussed that the goods were complements. So the cross price elasticity is negative. So when the price of one good falls, the demand for the other one increases. So now that we've gotten through one problem, let's take a look at another one. So we're going to assume a retailer sells 1,000 six-packs of Pepsi per day at the price of $3 per six-pack. You as an economist analyst estimate the cross-price elasticity between Pepsi and Coca-Cola is 0.7. So that is a positive number. If the retailer raises the price of Coca-Cola by 5%, would sales of Pepsi be affected? And why? So we are going to make sure that we have all of our numbers. And just so you see, we have 1,000 six-packs. They're $3 a six-pack. And our cross price elasticity is 0.7. And a retailer, there's a 5% increase in the price of Coca-Cola. So those are our numbers that we have to work with there. And here is your formula for calculating that. So why don't you hit pause and see how far that you can go with this problem, and then we will look at it and finish it together. So you have some numbers that you could have inputted. Cross price elasticity was already at 0.7 there. Right there is the number for that. We don't have a percent change in the quantity demanded for Pepsi, but we do have the percent change in the price of good B, which is Coca-Cola, and they had it at 5%. So that gives us enough information because there's only one missing variable here in order to calculate that. And so if we change this around algebraically, that would give us a answer of 3% change in the quantity of Pepsi is the answer there. So what does this do for us? So then you could always calculate the retailer would sell 1,035 six-packs of Pepsi per day, and that is because the Pepsi and Coca-Cola are substitutes. The sales would increase by $1,052 because the difference between 3,105 and 3,000 because there's a direct relationship between the price of Coca-Cola and the quantity of Pepsi. So what you're looking at is they are substitute goods. And so that is why that the sales of Pepsi would be affected because they're substitutes. If something rises too much, then they'll go and buy the other one, and vice versa. So the big key takeaway is being able to use this formula and to know if things can be substitutes or if they're complementary goods and why things happen. If you have any questions, please go ahead and hit me up. And don't forget to subscribe to the Grace Shaw channel. And have a good day.